what is that you want to achieve over a period of 2 to 3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
then break down that strategy into small goals that becomes your short term marketing goals.
Welcome to Icons Behind Brands. Hi, I'm Devlina, your host. I'm back with another special episode with one more special guest with me. We are thrilled to host Mr. Ganesh Marve, the Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer at Fusion BPO Services, renowned for crafting high impact digital strategies and steering teams to deliver exceptional results. Ganesh's forte lies in end-to-end product development, amplifying ROI-driven marketing, and fostering cutting-edge technological integration. So join us as he shares insights on marketing, innovation, empowering the Gen Next in AI, IoT, and data analytics. So a very warm welcome to you, Ganesh, here on Icons Behind Brands.
Hey, thanks, Devlina. Thanks for inviting to this forum and look forward to meaningful interaction.
Superb. Ganesh, if you just connect us with your background and little about your journey so far, so I think that'd be really great.
Sure. So, Devlina, I do have almost 25 years of experience now, and all this experience come from, as you rightly said, product management, marketing strategies, business strategies. I've been known for converting the existing businesses to the next orbit of growth, or establishing new businesses from the scratch.
Okay.
Done that handsomely for different markets of the world, including India, USA, Middle East, Africa, and some portion of Europe.
Okay.
So marketing is something is very close to my heart, I would say.
Superb. So we're going to talk a lot about marketing, internet, and AI and other things. So let's get into that. I would love to know about brand positioning is such a crucial thing in marketing. Okay.
Right.
So, what is your take on how do you approach brand positioning in the highly competitive markets, particularly when it is introducing a new products?
Sure. I think brand positioning for any new product, or for that matter service, need to have a proper research. So I would like to spell out three distinctive stages for this. The first one is competition benchmarking. So in the space that you are operating, how you are operating, what is your standing. If it is completely new product, then how that standing would be, what is your desired state. Okay. The second angle would be that what is the perception of your core brand by your internal employees as well as your suppliers.
Okay.
See, what happens is companies come up with a lot of product portfolios, but what happens to the mother brand, or what happens to the core brand? What is the perception at this internal level? And the third thing is obviously what is your own customer's perception. Now, if it is already existing product, then you can check with your existing customer, or if you don't have the product, then you can check it with the to be targeted or the ideal customer personas in terms of how they would perceive.
Okay.
Once you do 3-stage market research, then the analysis come. The pillar of this analysis need to be in terms of how you are going to differentiate, how is the quality is going to play, what is your price point, and obviously how you are going to build this as a package. Typically in the digital products, the combination of all these analytical factors play an important role to do positioning. So once you do this market research and do the analysis, then you have got the right ammunition to hit the market.
Here, if I have to summarize, it's a brand positioning is a package, complete package, and you need to take care of the each and every touch points, which is connecting you to the consumer, and that's when with proper research it's possible to position your brand in a right way in front of your right customers.
Right. And if I have allowed to elaborate this further, this is not like a one-time exercise. Okay, after every 2 to 3 years, depending upon what is your position in the market in terms of say revenue market share, or in terms of customer market share, you need to relook at your brand positioning exercise. So it is not like, okay, I've done once, I've done it in a much better way than the competition and my job is done.
Correct.
So the teams who are not looking at their product in a constant evaluation way, ultimately they are going to perish. And there are enough number of examples for this in the open market.
It's like as you grow as a brand, your customers grow, your perception in the market changes, and that's when
Yeah.
it's very important to go ahead with the flow. Like, I mean, how the perception in the mind of customers are growing, you need to keep changing, keep shifting your brand positioning.
Right.
Super. So in what ways do you see the open source technology influencing the future of marketing and brand management? A lot of talks around this.
Yeah, interesting. So, see, marketing is all about establishing your position, right?
Huh.
And then gaining competitive advantage, right? It's all about that. So, technology comes later. So, it is not that people were not using technology, before this era. I think before starting the show, also, we were touching upon this factor. But what has helped is by using the technology, you can increase the pace and the interactions, right, with the customer as well as with the market. So there are multiple open source technologies by which the marketing technology or the marketing automation is moving around, and it helping the marketers in a great way. Say for example, metaverse, which is based on to the integration of augmented reality as well as the virtual reality, is going to play an important role the way that you are going to communicate to the customer. Now, where these technologies help? These technologies helps to do the personalization. Now, what is personalization? So, if you are offering a product to a particular segment, earlier what used to happen is my product is ideal for say 15 to 25 years of age. But within the 15 to 25 years of age, what is the personalized service or the product that you could offer? That is possible. So, like micro segmentation is available. But based on the different information points, you can do the data analytics in a better way.
A lot of talks going on, whether this is going to replace a lot of humans or not. So I feel you have already answered here. It is only going to help you and accelerate your growth towards your goal.
Yeah.
Right. Technology complementing the same operations. If you combine this, the results are there, and you can be as creative as you can, because a human can only think in a different way.
Yeah, and see, at the end of the day, when you are communicating to someone, there has to be some human touch. I will give you one, reference of one article. Now, there is a study in USA. What happens is typically if you are walking down to Walmart or any store, these are like humanless counters wherein you just do the scanning of products and you check out, right? But fundamentally it is not picking up because sometimes the product codes are not updated, or sometimes the user himself is not that comfortable, right? So that you make the technology in such a way that it is a user friendly, irrespective of the age, your educational background, your social background, you should be able to reach to that stage. That is one part of it. B is how effectively you are going to use it, right? So they are re-looking at the aspect that whether we should have these kind of counters at the shops or at the stores where it is going to help, because ultimately the ineffectiveness of those machines are impacting the brand value of Walmart. Right? People don't say that the Walmart's quality is bad. People will say that, hey, I tried to check out, but the experience was bad. Right? So I think we need to reach to that maturity, and till that point of time, as you rightly said, humans are the one who are going to pump in that knowledge. And once you reach there, we will always move to the next stage, because human always think ahead of the machines, right?
Right.
Otherwise, machine would have taken the control over the world, isn't it?
True. Also, the adaptation, how the customers, they are easily adapting the new technology and changing. For example, I have seen like in some of the shops like Decathlon and all, I have seen they have a counter where you can scan the barcodes and you can do your billing and come back. But still, because we are so used to that, we don't want to use our brains, the scanning and other things. We just want to chill, so we want to keep it to the counter and let the other person do the things. So If you ask me, I have never gone to that counter at all. I mean, so far.
I think that's a consumer inertia. But let's look at the other example also, and I will give you the example of if you are using a store, especially around the groceries, right? And if you pick up a vegetable, sometimes these scanners are not able to scan those vegetable codes,
Right.
or if they show you different varieties of vegetables. If I picked up the apple, they will show you the the Afghanistan apple, Kashmir apple, and then there are whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know which apple I have picked up. Maybe I have picked up based on to the price tag, maybe, or something else. So you need a assisted experience. Now some countries sell alcohol only if the age is above certain age, right? Now if you're onto these counters, now the counter will not allow you to scan unless until you show the age proof, right? It's a classical use case in USA. They don't sell alcohol if you are not above 18.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So anyway, the customer experience is impacted. So it is, one part is inertia, second part is how effective you are bringing the technology. If you are seeing even the smartphones, when the smartphones were introduced, people were struggling to get used to it, right? But over a period of time, now they have get used to it because the smartphone technology also improved, and which has become more user friendly. So I think that user friendly and attacking the right customer experience, there has to be a right combination of that. Once
The
you
human and
achieve
technology.
that right, people will automatically follow the technology. You don't need to push them to use the technology.
That's true. That's true. So that's what, like, the combination of human interaction plus the technological intervention. So both have to work together. What technology can do cannot do. So that extension of human touch is needed.
True.
So how do you balance the short-term marketing goals with the long-term brand building in your strategies?
I think strategy is something, strategies are all to be strategy if it is successful, and successful strategy is only if there is a finer nuances of implementation. So the way that I look at it is, what is that you want to achieve over a period of 2 to 3 years, and then break down that strategy into small goals that becomes your short-term marketing goals. Now if I have to elaborate this with example, say for example, if you are a SaaS-based product, right?
Okay.
And company, SaaS-based product company, and if you want to achieve a 20% market share at the end of say 3 years, right? So that's your strategy. Now how will I break it up? I will break it into different goals. Now the fundamental thing that I need to have is whether I have a sufficient organic traffic, whether do I have a sufficient keyword rankings in the digital marketing point of view. So as a short-term goal, I will define that within 6 months, maybe on the ranking pages, I will go to a particular level, right? So that becomes my short-term goal, but it is tied up with my long-term strategies.
Okay. So the major goal is so very important, because that is where it's the small goals which are like the breaking down of the major.
Right. These small goals will help you to build that chain reaction, which can take you to the last milestone where you want to reach, right? So I think that's the way that one should look at it.
Has to be aligned.
Yeah.
So what methodologies do you employ to understand and cater to the diverse customer segments within the BPO service industry?
I think service industry itself is very vast, so you can't really pick all the segments and try to focus on it, because business point of view that becomes very impractical. So my 2 cents on this is again try to work it on 3 major direction. One is stick to your strength. So conventionally you have been doing something, it is paying on certain results in particular segments. Okay, stick to that. Okay, don't do any rash thing in that segment, because there is a chemistry, there is a formula which you have discovered. Just ensure that how you are doing it in a better and better way. So I think the optimization and the efficiency gain is the game over there. Then the second aspect is look at the sunrising segments. So every era will always come up with some sunrising segments. Now in the sunrising segment, if you are having a early mover advantage, then you can build your capacities as well as your domain expertise. You should be able to tap the sunrising segment. So if you ask me, maybe few years down, when the COVID hit, right, the online education was the sunrising segment. So the people who anticipated that and entered into it, and then building the capability over a period of time, they are becoming more and more master of that class. The last thing is restrict your width. See, what happens is typically at the senior level, when you have got a better visibility, you try to enter into a lot of segments, right? Lot of sectors. Avoid that temptation. I think 3 to 4 sectors for any company is more than enough, right? Unless until the muscle power of the company is totally different. I think once you get the proper, I think the grip on those sectors or those segments, then you can move to that. So at a time, focus on maximum 3 to 4. This is a 3-pronged strategy. I would always say that if you are dealing with the service industry.
Correct. It's very crucial to leave that temptation which you said. It's always, if you see that there is a market, you feel like doing that as well. But that is where the catch is. You need to know when you are strong enough to go ahead with that. And when it is strong enough, it's your manpower, your resources, technology, and so many things, so many other things.
Yeah, because in service industry, once you failed, gaining the same, I think perception from the customer is always difficult. It is not like a product industry, It's wherein you are changing the version of the product or something. So I think that's where that's the crux. So I think you should play your cards smartly.
Yeah, very true. So how do you balance between traditional marketing approaches with the cutting edge technologies and techniques to promote a B2B services?
As I will, I think it's a question which has got multiple answers. So but I will try to restrict myself to a limited view. See, what happens is, why we do marketing. Marketing is essentially aligning with organization's short-term or the long-term strategic objectives, right? And when you are doing the marketing, what you are doing the marketing is important. Whether you are using the traditional or the cutting edge, I feel it's a secondary, right? And I will give you a few examples. If you are dealing with interviews, right, which is a recruitment. Now, sometimes people go to the marketing teams and try to take the help from the marketing teams to promote the recruitment exercise.
Yes.
Right. Now, if you are at a junior level, still walk-ins work very well. Still, local newspaper ads work very well. Right?
Yeah.
So this is like a very conventional market, right? But if you look at the mid and senior level, then nowadays only the digital works.
Yes.
Now, if you are saying that, as a marketer, I'm going to go only the digital, the answer is no. Because you might have the recruitment needs at a different cross section, right? So I always believe is that, what is the right mix for the given objective, right? So that mix need to be discovered. And as long as you are maintaining that mix or that balance for the given target of marketing objective, you are done. Don't worry too much about whether, by using this, whether I will be in passion. Don't do that. Look at it in terms of, what is your marketing as a function, how it is going to help the business, right? And whatever the right mix of traditional and the cutting edge marketing techniques, use that. I think that's the way that one should look at it.
So it is absolutely depends on which category you belong to, and where your target audience is spending most of their time, and what is your objective at this point,
and where you will get that engagement, right? So when you are talking to your audience, talking doesn't help unless the engagement is there. Now, engagement could be in the form of call to action, or there are multiple things that you should figure out. So I think that is something should.
Sometimes this touch and feel works, and sometimes it's immediate, just near your eyes. You need to see that particular ad or that particular engagement. Right. Now with this, we are moving towards a section called rapid fire round, and here the rules are very simple. We just have to answer in one word.
Yeah, sure.
What has been your favorite age so far?
Every year, because it gives different experiences.
Wow, I love this answer. What is your favorite work memory?
When I launched the collaborative service portfolio for Reliance Communication, that was the first product launch.
What has changed the most since you have started working here in Fusion?
I could bring the positive attitude.
What advice would you give an employee on their first day of work?
Leave the baggage of the old company.
I think that's very important. Come with a fresh new page, new start.
Yeah.
If you cannot leave the previous baggage, you cannot take it fast.
Exactly.
If you could not work in this industry, what profession would you pursue?
A lawyer.
When are you most productive?
Late night hours.
What would you change about yourself?
Patience is a virtue of a man.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
I think by doing that, I'm calling myself very old, but let me attempt that. First thing that the young generation should be looking at in terms of, don't chase the success. I think chase the learning. Once you do the learning in a proper way, success will automatically come. You don't need to really worry about it.
Right.
The second part, I would say that at least have an exposure of minimum 2 industries. And the third one is be humble.
That's true. The basics are the foundation, and the basics are basics for some reason, because these are like non-negotiable. Before we wind up this conversation, I want you to talk for our young marketing professionals. What is your advice for any aspiring marketing professional?
I think the advice would be that, see, marketing is a combination of knowledge and creativity. It doesn't work only with knowledge, it doesn't work only with creativity. So you need to have the flavor. If you don't have that flavor, don't chase it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a game of patience. It's a game of exposure. If you play it very well in terms of on these 2 angles, you will get a success. The third piece on the marketing side is in the today's world, everyone wants returns very fast, right? Marketing is more like a long-term game. Okay, you will not get the returns, and in process of that, you switch on jobs or you switch on your career paths. That doesn't help, right? I can confidently talk about people who call themselves as a product managers, but they might not have seen even the one entire product life cycle.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of time, right? And if you're not part to every phase of it, right, you're not able to visualize how your customer is going to behave or react or interact, right? So have that patience. Once you have that patience, then multiplication of it or scaling of it is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are nuggets. The last would be that learning doesn't stop. Even today also I try to go on to the dashboards of ad engines or the analytics engine and try to see myself that how do I perceive this, or how do I decode this, right? So you need to constantly learn what is coming, because the world is changing, because the people are changing, so they will keep on bringing new things. You may not be master of all, but at least you should have some basic understanding of it. If you move upward the career ladder, if you don't know the basic understanding, you will not able to apply it to the different business problems that you encounter, right? For the execution, you might have your own team, but first you need to relate the problem and the possible solution around it, right? Otherwise you are not a leader, right?
Correct.
Then you can help your team to crack that problem in a collaborative way.
True.
But that first analysis, I think the first understanding about the business situation and what possibly work well, has to some portion has to come from you. I think these are a few nuggets of advice for the young generation.
And it's very important to follow this what you just shared here. We had a wonderful conversation in a very short time, and very on point conversation. And thank you for your time, Mr. Ganesh, and it was amazing talking to you on Icons Behind Brand.
Likewise, so it was very interactive and collaborative efforts, I would say. Thanks, Devlina, for taking out the time and giving me an opportunity to come on your forum. Hope we will have more in the near future.
Sure. Amazing.